and I got my brother Matt.
Hello.
And today we're going to talk about traveling with families, specifically traveling with small kids. Because Matt had just done that. They came back from a trip with his family, and he's going to tell us all about it and give us some tips on what you guys can do. So Matt, tell us about your trip. Where did you go?
Well, we went from Vancouver, BC, Canada, over to Honolulu, Hawaii. We went with my family, so my wife, my son at the time, he was 3, and then my daughter, she was 8 months at the time. We also went with my other friend who has a similar family setup. His wife, son is 3 years old, daughter is 1. They've been in Hawaii before. Since we went also with our friends on the same flight, the kids were playing on the plane, and so they had like their whole seat row to themselves, just playing.
They took over the plane. So what inspired you guys to do this trip, like a family trip with such young kids?
Okay, so I'm always encouraged every year to go on one big vacation with the family, and it's just great for memories because
great memories.
Because you know, you're always going to make money year over year, and you're working so hard.
Mm-hmm.
You need vacation. Why always have a staycation when you could actually just go somewhere else? Because your staycations will always be like every long weekend or whatever, right? So, so go on a big vacation, take a week or 2 off, and just have fun. Your family will enjoy it, and they get to have that fun and experience in a different place.
Where exactly did you stay in Hawaii?
Okay, yes. So we're in Honolulu. We stayed at Aqua Wave Waikiki.
Well, what kind of things did you guys do in Hawaii?
Okay, so in Hawaii, there's a lot of beaches.
Mm-hmm.
Kids love beaches. You get choices for different styles. There's this nice beach, I can't remember the name off the top of my head, where the sand is actually, it feels like small pieces of cork. So they're big pebbles, but soft. And it was like mind-boggling. And then there's another beach that we went to where the sand is so soft, it quickly gets up into the air and it's
like powder.
Yeah, it's like powder.
Cocaine beach.
Yeah, so so you got like, you know, cocaine all over your face. I'm like, oh my god, yeah. The kids love that beach.
Sounds wrong.
One of my favorite beaches was a man-made beach where you can walk out really far in the distance. Kind of like the equivalent of if you were to just walk a normal pace, maybe like 30 paces out. It's a long distance walk, and the water will still be at your waist level. It's great because kids will enjoy it better. And because it's man-made, there's actually a lot of natural barriers that they put, or man-made barriers, so that the actual waves get blocked before going into the lagoon. So that's great. You could also go to the Disney Resort for free to use their lagoons. So if you don't necessarily want to pay for the Disney experience, but use their stuff.
How does that work?
Yeah.
Did you just sneak in and pretend you were part of
No. There's free parking for people that were just like us to use their lagoons, and you get like 4 or 5 choices of lagoons. There's maps everywhere. A lot of people that go on vacations to these beaches and leave, they will leave behind beach toys or
leave them behind on purpose.
They will purposely leave behind beach toys or their little boogie boards, because if you think about it, they don't want to bring that stuff back to their hotel and to their flights to go back home. So they leave it at the beach.
That's littering, though.
They will leave it at the beach so that another family or another group can benefit from it. So if you see stuff like that out, people leave it there on purpose so that someone else can go ahead and use it.
How did you know that they actually left the toys there? Like, how do you know they didn't just go to the bathroom or like for a drink? And
it's because just the same advice I'm giving you, I got the same advice as well.
Because I would assume people are coming back for these items.
Yeah, but think about it, right? They don't want to bring that stuff back. It's you know, it's just extra stuff.
In the sand.
And you know, you don't want to take. You can't realistically. Okay, I loved it. It's great stuff. It was like maybe $20 to $30 worth of like beach stuff. But then I too would not be able to bring it back home
Yeah.
on the plane, so I left it at the beach as well. And so, later on, someone else would have benefited from that too.
And there's also stuff for adults to do too, because at one point nobody wanted to go with you. I don't know why, but at one point he did a hike, and he did a great video on that. We're also gonna post that up there.
You just need to be aware that when you go up Diamond Head, there's no tree cover for shade. So just bring lots of water, have the sunblock. Just get ready for that intense heat.
Would you say like kids could do it? And
There were like kids that are like around 7 or 8 able to do it. If you have like a carrier for a baby, sure, that works.
yeah.
You won't be able to bring a stroller because there's like steps. If you end up going to the Dole Plantation, kids love that because there's like a train ride, lots of pineapple related food and treats. And
it's so fun for the kids. Like you want a little train. He made a video of it. We'll post it too. And I mean, what kids doesn't love train rides and pineapples? I mean, just something fun to
the
do.
pineapple ice cream is the best.
So it wasn't just like the beach. There was tons of other stuff to do.
Oh yeah.
And even if they were asleep and passed out in the car, you could probably still just drive around, and the adults could sightsee, and you can still pull over, and the kids
Oh
could
yeah,
pass out.
there are some amazing views. Okay, so there's views where like you're going through this tropical rainforest, and you can see like cliffs and these amazing mountains. Because I mean, Hawaii is just one big mountain with lots of different
Yeah.
landscapes. But it's so amazing when you can see that with your own eyes. And there's a lot of points where you're going off the freeway, and you can just pull over and then just stop, take pictures,
Exactly.
and then drive to another sightseeing spot, pull over. And there's a lot of great stuff like that.
So the kids don't need to get out of the car. They could be asleep. Adults can enjoy this
Yeah.
beautiful ride. Like and it's free, except for the car and gas. But other than that, it's
And
free.
if you need to bring home souvenirs, there's the marketplace there. And some marketplaces you get to haggle with them, try to get a better deal. If you like going to the club, if you like to dance, if you want to party, there's a nightlife there in Honolulu.
So how did you book this trip? I'm talking about prices. Like how much did you pay? How did you book it? Like
We booked it online on Expedia. So we went to Expedia's website, got a great deal.
go Expedia.
So we booked the return flight. We were there for a week for the hotel, and we got the car rental. We got a mid-size vehicle, so that way we could fit the kids and our luggage. And altogether, it was $2,400 and some change Canadian. That includes service fees and taxes. So Canadian price, that was a great deal, and for great memories. So.
Then when you were in Hawaii, like for meals and like shopping, how did you find it expense-wise?
Well, we ate as if we were on any other vacation. So we will go to Cheesecake Factory, for example, and so it's a nice restaurant. The cheesecake is rich, but like you buy like a couple slices of cheesecake, and that takes care of the whole family, even though because
That's so cheap. One slice, please. 4 forks.
We went to Jollibee.
Filipino favorite,
Yeah.
Jollibee.
So they have food courts there, so you pay like food court prices. Everything was reasonable, what we would expect in the morning.
Oh, okay.
We would go to McDonald's for breakfast.
McDonald's. Breakfast champion.
Yeah.
But that's a pretty cheap way of doing
Yeah.
breakfast. So for a family, kids don't care.
Yeah, and because we thought about getting food that our kids would eat, because my son is very picky.
He is,
my
actually.
daughter at the time was just mostly having like milk and soft foods. So she was a bit easier, but there were late night grocery stores if we have to pick up milk or
Yeah.
bananas and stuff like that.
You were there for a week, had an awesome time as a family. What was your favorite memory or moment of the whole trip that you just like that stays in your mind?
I have a few pretty good ones. We drove to a lot of different beaches, and there is one beach where there's a lot of surfers that are there because the waves are so big.
Mm-hmm.
My son wanted to keep going into that beach, and it's a no-go zone unless you're actually able to surf.
A
And
3-year-old, no.
Yeah, and so he just wanted to go into the water, which is
no.
Which brings me to another memory I should mention, because before that we were at the calm, normal beaches,
Oh.
and my son was terrified
Oh.
of the water. I would have to pick him up to bring him into the water, and he's like fighting me off, and
Oh.
it took like a couple hours for him to get comfortable with the beach, where he wouldn't want to go eventually, and so now he wants to go to every beach and be comfortable with it. So those memories are with me. Those are my favorite, because his reactions from the beginning, where he just wanted nothing to do with the beach, he just didn't trust it, to the point where, like, you know, he just wants to stay there till night. And
So hypothetically, if you're gonna do this exact same trip again, is there anything you would do differently, or would
yes,
you keep it the same?
the only thing that comes to mind that I would change is the hotel that we were at. If I would want to do more research, because as it turns out, they were doing construction on another building,
Oh.
and they
yeah.
do their construction pretty early in the morning, and so I would probably do more research on like other developments happening in the area,
Yeah.
just to avoid that. But
What would you say to other families out there and other people with small kids who are thinking of doing this trip? Like, what kind of advice or motivation would you say to them?
okay, so for example, I saw the great deal on Expedia and wanted to quickly book it.
We're really plugging Expedia here.
But my daughter didn't have her passport.
Oh.
So I had to quickly get her passport because I didn't want to lose out on the deal. So my word of advice is that even if you don't plan on going on vacations, still get your kids' passports. Get them out of the way so that you have them just in case. When you find that deal, then you can get that amazing price. If you go on the airplane, you're allowed to bring your double stroller and your car seat and booster seat. But it's free of charge. It's not considered as luggage. So some people are scared about that, and so you're not holding your kids the whole time. You're actually going right up to the airplane door with your stroller and all that stuff, and they set that aside. That way, once you get to your destination, and immediately your stroller is available. So
The good thing is, though, when you landed, you did rent a car, and you could just easily put the car seat into the rental car. You don't have to worry about, do they have a seat available?
Yeah.
Can you borrow one?
And then, so one other piece of advice, if you're going with little kids that have diapers, just pack what you need for your airport trip when you're leaving home, and for the flight when you're on the plane. Don't pack a lot of diapers and formula for your whole trip, because what we ended up doing was we just packed what we needed for the actual flight. When we landed, we went straight to Walmart. We bought all the diapers that we needed for our time there, formula, all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That way, it's less stuff to pack and to bring with you, because it's kind of ridiculous, like how much space diapers and formula takes up.
You'll have more room coming back.
Yeah, and so that's another piece of advice that I would love parents to be aware about when they bring like a baby or little kids that are still in that stage. Don't be afraid that, like, okay, I have to bring like a million things, because you can just buy it there.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Matt, for sharing your tips on traveling with small kids, especially to Hawaii.
Go on, do it!
We're going to put a link up here to all his other videos. And if there's any questions, feel free to email us, and Matt would be happy to answer them.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Okay, bye, guys. See you later.
Bye.